Hey everyone, JJB here, back again with another VGC battle. We're still going with this Snorlax team. I'm desperate for the Snorlax to pay off and for us actually to, well, for me to get to show you guys the power of the Snorlax. So hopefully we'll find ourselves an opponent fairly speedy, which we do, perfect. Balerion, the Dread. That's a Game of Thrones reference. They had a higher rating than us, 1580 odd. And they're using a Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Snorlax, Ninetales, Celesteela, and an Arcanine. So who do we want to lead with? I tend to go for a Koko lead, but I'm not sure whether that'll pay off. Unless, well, I mean, what do we think his lead is going to be? If it's the Ninetales, we're kind of screwed anyway. I like our Arcanine lead. Arcanine is only really resisted by the Garchomp on his team, so that can apply some good pressure straight away. And I think I am going to go Koko. Or do I go over Garchomp of my own? Nah, I think he's going to lead Ninetales. Let's not bring Garchomp. Let's go Koko, let's go Milotic, and let's go Snorlax. I don't want to bring the Mimikyu. Trick Room's not going to be good for us while he's got the Celesteela and the Snorlax. Garchomp's, going to struggle against the Ninetales and against the Celesteela because it can't actually hit the Celesteela for any damage. Its only offensive moves are Earthquake and Poison Jab. So yeah, I feel like this is probably the best team, judging by our opponent's team composition, but we will have to see. He's got those blue reflective glasses. And he goes Ninetales Koko. Okay, so we called the Ninetales lead. I mean, yeah, Ninetales is it's a common lead anyway, just to try and get off the Aurora Veil early doors. We get a useless Intimidate off any minute now, which isn't going to do anything for us. Both of our opponent Mons, well, I say they're both specially attacking. Koko's can be physical, but the vast majority tend to be special, so we'll assume it is for the time being. And I think we're just going to target down the Koko slot. If we go for a Flare Blitz onto the Koko and a Dazzling Gleam, the Dazzling Gleam should be able to break a sash. I think the Ninetales is just going to go for an Aurora Veil, so I'm not too fussed about that. We'll eat the Volt Switch up. Has that brought us into berry range? I'm not sure. And he goes out into the Snorlax. Okay, interesting. See how much damage we can do with this Dazzling Gleam. A good amount to the Ninetales, not so much to the Snorlax. And the Ninetales does get off the Aurora Veil, so this is quite scary because it means that our opponent Snorlax is going to be a real pain for us to try and take down. Let's see how much a Flare Blitz does. It does a good amount. We'll pop the berry. And to be honest now I'm thinking with a combination of Flare Blitz and Thunderbolt, we might be able to, take out the Snorlax straight away. So I think we're going to go for that. We're going to double up into the Snorlax slot. The Ninetales could obviously just go for the KO opportunity with a Blizzard, but I don't think that'll kill. So let's give this a go. Let's double down on that Snorlax. Man, if an opponent gets to show off their Snorlax before I get to show off mine, I'm going to be pissed. Get a Thunderbolt off, some big damage. The Blizzard comes out. I think we'll survive that with both of our Mons. Yeah, easy. And a Flare Blitz now. So I'm hoping he went for the Belly Drum. So obviously he won't be able to do that now that we've brought him down below 50%. And he goes for the Curse. Which is, interesting because I think he'll just die on the next turn. If I was him, I'd want to have Protect on my Snorlax right now. but I doubt it. If he's Snorlax are pretty commonly gonna have Curse, a normal type move that does damage like Return, another coverage move like High Horsepower, and then normally recycle to try and get their HP back. So I think we're going to go for an Extreme Speed with our Arcanine and a Dazzling Gleam with our Coco. And that should be, basically that gives us some spread damage options if the Extreme Speed doesn't kill, which it doesn't. But the Dazzling Gleam does manage to pick up the kill on the Snorlax, and we get a crit on the Ninetales as well, which is huge. Okay, well that's good for us. So despite our opponent having up the Aurora Veil, we have successfully managed to get rid of a big threat on our opponent's team in the form of the Snorlax. Coco does go down to Hail. Arcanine is very close to going down as well. So who do we want to go into? I'm going to go Milotic now. Our opponent had an Arcanine on their team, so there's a chance now that they're going to have to bring that in. And if they do, that will boost our Milotic up quite well. So we see the Coco again, and the last one on our opponent's side is the Celesteela. So there's absolutely no way I can afford to let Arcanine go down here. We need Arcanine to slam the Celesteela with a Flare Blitz. So I am going to swap out Arcanine now and go out into our Snorlax. And with Milotic, I think we're going to go for a Scald onto the... Here's the thing, a burn on the Celesteela would be great to get some residual damage off on it. The Coco's the only one on our opponent's side of the field who's really got some offensive presence, so I think we're just going to target down that. I don't know how many turns of Aurora Veil we've got left, I need to check that. But we definitely need the Snorlax to take out the Celesteela. So opponent goes Dazzling Gleam, it does some damage, but not anything to write home about. And Celesteela goes for a Leech Seed onto the Milotic. Coco takes some damage. Milotic takes some damage. We're all going to get smacked by Hail. So the question is whether we can set up our Snorlax now to a point where our opponent can't easily take it down. The Celesteela is going to be a real pain, especially with this extra HP recovery it's going to get from Leech Seed. So I'm going to go for a Stockpile with Snorlax. We still have our Berry, so we'll get some HP back if he manages to take us down below half health. And we're just going to go for a Scald with our Milotic onto the Coco. It goes for Dazzling Gleam, which is great for us. It means that we're not going to die with Milotic this turn. We got HP back up with Snorlax. We set up a Stockpile after we get the Scald off. Can we get a burn? No. And the Celesteela is going to Leech Seed the Snorlax. That's a problem because Snorlax has got some good HP. The Hail ends. Celesteela is going to get some... Oh, and we disconnect. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Or are we just going to carry on? Or is that just going to be the turn ending? What happens now? Aurora Veil wears off, electricity disappears. Does the battle end? It does. I love how it still goes through and shows you all of that, even though the battle ends. Okay, well, I feel like that was a good battle. Basically, the plan on that turn following, well, the turn following that was going to be to return on the Coco, KO that, and then we can bring in the Arcanine to finish off the Celesteela with a Flare Blitz. I feel like that would have worked quite well. We're going to try and get another battle in this episode. I've been trying to keep the battles around sort of 10 minutes long, around the length of one game, but I feel bad that that was a disconnect. So we'll try and get another one in. Hopefully, we can just sweep and kill someone 4-0, and it'll be a quick game, but we'll have to see. I feel like we'd have won that last game. The Coco seemed to be locked into Dazzling Gleam, So the plan was to protect on my low tech, to survive, KO with a return from Snorlax onto the Koko. That would just leave the Celesteela, and we've still got the Arcanine in the back to smack that with a super effective Flare Blitz. So I feel like it would have been a win. We didn't get to see it, but I feel like it would have been a win. Are we finding an opponent now? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, well, oh, and as I say, of course, we find someone. They've got a rating of 1496, so about the same as us. And they've got a Salazzle, Celesteela, Koko, Snorlax, Garchomp, and Porygon 2. So, who do we like? I like Snorlax in this game. I hate Porygon 2. I'm going to lead with Garchomp. Garchomp does well against the Koko and the Salazzle, as well as threatening some of his other mons with the Z move, obviously not Celesteela. And I think because of that we're going to go Koko as our next mon. We're going to bring Arcanine because Celesteela. And I think we're going to go with our own Snorlax as a means of trying to set up towards the end game. So let's go with that. Let's see how it goes. It's going to be a longer episode today, which is a shame. I'm really annoyed about that disconnect. It was looking like it was going to be a good battle. We better not have disconnected again. No, okay, good. Well, I say a good battle. I'm only saying it was a good battle because we were about to win, but we see our opponent lead off with a Porygon 2 and a Tapu Koko. So we lead with a Koko of our own and our Garchomp. Get the Surge up. We see ours goes first, so that suggests that we may be quicker. The Porygon does get a special attack boost. I'm scared of the Ice Beam from the Porygon. So I think I am just going to swap out now into the Arcanine to try and take that. And with our Garchomp, I want to go for a... I think we're going to be trying to be clever. I think we're going to go Volt Switch on their Koko. And hopefully get back out into our own Garchomp to eat up an electric type move. If this pays off, I'm going to be very proud of myself. So we get the Intimidate. That doesn't mean anything for either of our opponent's Pokemon. We do outspeed with Volt Switch, which is great. Does about 50% to the enemy Koko, which is useful information. That means from that point we know we'll be able to outspeed and kill with a Thunderbolt or another Volt Switch if we so wish. And let's go out into Garchomp. I'm hoping that he targets the, what now is the Arcanine with an Ice Beam. He goes Volt Switch into the Garchomp, this is perfect, and an Ice Beam out into the Arcanine. So that turn worked perfectly for us. The freeze I don't think matters because I think Flare Blitz just sorts that out on the next turn. So let's do that. Let's Flare Blitz the Koko and let's protect with our Garchomp. I hope Flare Blitz does thaw you out. I think it's one of the moves that does that straight away. I think like Flare Blitz, Flame Wheel, and I think Scald will do it. So we get the Protect off, which is good. The Koko does just go for a Volt Switch, so hopefully... Oh, that does so much damage. We have got the Berry for recovery, but that did a lot more than I thought it would. Hoping it goes out into the Celesteela. That'd be awesome. I doubt it though. Into Garchomp, okay. You can live with that. We'll get a Flare Blitz off. It does melt the ice. Okay, good. I'm glad I knew something there. And let's see what this Porygon wants to go for. Ice Beam onto the Garchomp slot, okay. So what do we fancy doing now? I want to preserve Arcanine, just in case of that Celesteela being a thing. So I think I'm going to protect it this turn. And with our own Garchomp, we... See, the thing is, we'll die to an Ice Beam. Do we need it? I'm not sure we do. Let's smack the enemy Garchomp. We know our Koko can outspeed our opponent's Koko and KO it. He goes towards us now. That's fine for us. If this Z move doesn't kill the Garchomp, I will be surprised. And if it doesn't kill, we have extreme speed on our Arcanine to be able to KO it on the next turn anyway. So, slight misplay from our opponent there. Maybe predicting our Garchomp to swap out in fear of an Ice Beam from the Porygon. But I don't think it's living this. Smacked into the centre of the earth. Yeah, it's gone. So I think me and our opponent here have just swapped Garchomps. Unless we can somehow live, which nah, no way. Okay. Well, we go Koko. As does our opponent. So I think on this turn I'm going to Volt Switch out into our Snorlax. I think that's the best play to go for. Let's Extreme Speed the Koko and let's Dazzling Gleam. Basically, this is just to make sure we can kill the Koko on this turn. Don't know if Extreme Speed will kill. It doesn't quite, perfect, so the Dazzling Gleam was justified. I'm not feeling too threatened by this Porygon. It won't be able to hurt Snorlax too much, so as long as Snorlax can come in, set up. No more freeze for our opponent, that's great. And our opponent goes into a Snorlax of their own. This is interesting. Well, we're just going to try and mess that Snorlax up as much as we can on this turn. We're going to go for the... Yeah, we're going to go Flare Blitz and we're going to go Thunderbolt. One of our Mons will die this turn, probably the Koko. But I feel like that's okay. I feel like our Snorlax will be able to win as long as we can get some big damage off on our opponent's Snorlax this turn and again on the next turn. So we go Thunderbolt, should do about maybe 50%. Just about. Flare Blitz to kick him out. Ideally, we'll either get a crit or a burn. Does a huge amount of damage. We don't get a burn, it does pop its berry. So hopefully it's gone Belly Drum. Koko dies, that's fine. Please say Belly Drum. High horsepower, okay, so it's gone just straight out for the offense. And I feel like this is winnable from here. The Porygon's probably got Toxic though. Toxic is going to be bad for our Snorlax. Okay. I'm stockpiling this turn, but I'm not sure whether that's better. I'm gonna... I think Belly Drum. We're Belly Drumming. Now, something that you guys need to know before I click Belly Drum here is that my Snorlax has not got the right IVs in HP. Which means that Belly Drum would not have brought it down to the red, so the berry would not have activated. However, our opponent's hurt us, which means we do get the Belly Drum off. But we saw then that our opponent should be able to KO us this turn, so I should have stockpiled. Oh man, we were on the cusp of clicking it. I've clicked recycle this turn just on the off chance that we don't die. Oh man, the misplays. The misplays are real. If we'd have clicked stockpile, we could have got a couple of layers of defense up. Oh man, that's the whole point of this Snorlax, and I just ignored it. Ah, what a rubbish episode for today. A disconnect, which I'm counting as a win. We would have won that. 100% we would have won. Maybe. Let's say like 60-40 we would have won, maybe. 55-45? Sure. And then a terrible play by me with the Snorlax that I've been hyping up for so long. Oh man, that's so frustrating. Well, anyway, slightly longer episode for you guys. Hope you guys still enjoyed, even though I suck at this game. So yeah, leave a like in support of my my noobishness, and remember to subscribe if you enjoy my videos and you want to see more. I promise I will get better, so it's worth subscribing just to you know, you'll be the guy who'll be able to say, like, you know, I was here when he still sucked. I'm saying that like I won't still suck in 20 years, but whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.